Hi, this is Rob Leo. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can use a master slide within Google Slides so that students can't move stuff around. This is a simple drag and drop activity, but notice nothing in the background is going to be able to be edited or moved. Um, when the student needs to categorize something, they can drag a text box and drop it into place without messing up the background. So how did I do that? Well, if you go to the View menu option, you'll see there's an option for Master. And I created a master slide that had images, text, and shapes. All I did was fill this with color, gradient color, and I lined everything up just as I wanted. I renamed it. I called it Three Branches. And then when I went to click the plus sign, instead of just clicking plus to add a new slide, I clicked the drop down and selected the Three Branches layout. And from there, I added text boxes like the ones you see here that the students could then drag and drop. And I just lined them up outside the frame of the slide itself. When you share a Google slideshow like this with students, they're not going to be looking at it in present mode if you make a copy for every student. So don't worry about using the space in the margins. The kids will be able to see stuff. Let's do the same thing for a Venn diagram. So again, I'm not going to add a slide, but rather I'm going to go to View, Master, and the next slide down, I'm just going to edit this, and I'm going to get rid of this little bulleted list. And instead, I'm going to add a shape. And by the way, you can also insert, there's diagrams here as well. You might want to explore before you dive too deeply, and you can always find Venn diagrams somewhere else. I'm just gonna make two circles so I can make my point. So let's just insert a shape, and we're gonna insert a circle. Let's draw one as large as possible. I don't want any color in this, so I'm going to use the paint bucket and make it transparent. And if you want, you can maybe make a nice border around it. So that's great. I'm going to copy it and paste it. So now I'll have two circles side by side. And I'll make the border on this one a different color. Alrighty, so I have my starting image here that I want to work with. I'm just going to add a text box. I'm going to call this Society 1. You can call it whatever you'd like. I'm just going to be general here. I'm going to pretend we're going to compare and contrast medieval Japan to medieval Europe. And then I'm going to copy this text box and paste it twice. Once I'm going to line up in the middle. And then the other one I'm going to line up around the far edge. We'll save both. Here we'll say Society 2. If you want, you can make them bold, make them stand out, or just keep things fairly general. Alrighty, so I've got my template set. I haven't renamed it yet. It's called a Simple Light Section Header. I'm going to rename it to Venn Diagram. Click OK. And then I am going to close this. Now when I want to add a Venn diagram to my slides lesson, again, I'm not going to click the plus sign. I'm going to click the drop-down arrow. And I'm going to look for my Venn diagram. There it is. And now I'm just going to add a new text box that says compare and contrast ancient Japan or medieval Japan to medieval Europe. We will just center it. We'll make it a little bit bigger. Make it bold. Add some color. All right, I've got my directions all set. I'm going to assign this to students. What I would normally do is go to Google Classroom. I would attach this slideshow, search for it by name, and then I would let the students be the ones who are going to come along and insert stuff into this. So what I might do before that, just to give them a space, is perhaps give them a text box where they can start typing. Put another text box over here. And then what I might even do here is just say Europe. And what I might even do over here is say Japan. So now I'll make a copy for students, and what they'll end up doing is each having their own copy where they can add information to this particular slide. So again, I might just even say something like type below. So there you have it. You can make your own Venn diagrams, charts, graphs, whatever drag and drop activities without having the students really mess up the template that you want them to work with. They can't move the background. They can only add new stuff to the text boxes that you add on top of what is layered here. Thanks for listening, and I hope you found this useful.